Good afternoon and welcome to the March 25 meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority. May we have a roll call, please?
Authority members: Friedman,
Here.
Vinci,
Here.
Najarian,
Approaching the bench.
Fazian,
Here.
Montero,
Here.
Weaver,
Here.
Chair Sinanian.
Here. May we have the report, please?
Agenda for the March 25th, 2014 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Thursday, March 20th, 2014 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
And what's next?
There are no minutes for approval at this meeting, and there were no cards submitted for oral communication.
Okay.
The only other item is authority member or staff comments.
Yes, and we do have some staff comments. Some good news, Mr. Zovak?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the authority. Quick announcement that beginning Monday, March 31st, and running through April 14th, we will have applications available for the Housing Authority's latest affordable housing project. That project is called Cypress Senior Living at 311 East Cypress Street. That project involves, if you recall, the acquisition rehabilitation of a 1920s era building. It's a mix of studio and one-bedroom units. It's 18 units total. One unit will be reserved as a manager's unit. So there'll be 17 units available for occupancy by lower-income senior households. And of the 17 units, 6 units have a preference for low-income senior veterans. And as I said, the application period will be from March 31st through April 14th. Those interested in applying for the project have a number of different opportunities to be able to obtain an application. There will be 3 physical locations in Glendale that applicants could pick up an application. It would be the Armenian Relief Society at 517 West Glen Oaks Boulevard, Catholic Charities at 4322 San Fernando Road, and the Community Development Housing Division counter at 141 North Glendale Avenue, Suite 202. In addition, interested applicants could also go to the developer's website to download an application, or an application could be mailed to an applicant by calling the developer's hotline number at 888-454-1949. Applications must be postmarked by the final date, April 14th, and mailed to the developer to be entered into the lottery. This week we'll be doing a series of marketing announcements for the upcoming availability. We have a number of ads appearing in different newspapers serving the Glendale area. We also have a link on the city's website. We have a public service announcement on GTV6. We have mailed out this flyer, and that's been translated into 4 languages. You each should have a copy. To all senior households on our Section 8 waiting list, to all 600 households to date that have applied through the community housing forums that we conducted not too long ago, and through some of the social service agencies and churches within Glendale, we've advertised and mailed out to them too.
Mr. Zovak, I'm looking at the ranges for the monthly rent, and it is a range because for 1 bedroom, 1 bath, it's listed as $466 to $932. Right. So what determines as to where you fall in that range?
In the tax, it would be the unit itself and the assignment of the unit. Under the state tax credit program, there are a certain number of units that must be reserved for people at 30% annual median income, and as a result, there's an appropriate related rent range for that particular population. There are some units reserved for people at 40%, 50%, 60%. And then that's why there's a rent range that goes from the lower end to the most expensive unit that would be in the 60% median income range.
And we often get questions about the actual lottery as to how it's going to be conducted. I see that of all the applications that have been submitted, 200 will be selected, meaning they will be randomly selected from the entire pool of applications, or?
Yes, there'll be a lottery in which 200 applicants will be selected. Keep in mind that 6 of the units are reserved as a preference for low-income senior veteran households,
right.
U.S. military veterans. There'll be a separate lottery for that population first, then a general lottery for the remaining 11 units in the general population.
And will they rank according to need or?
Strictly lottery order selection.
Lottery order selection only. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Question?
Yes.
So may we have the square size of the units?
The square footages of the units, I don't have them with me. I will say, though, that since the building is a 1920 era's building, the units are small. and the unit sizes vary as well. So not all studios are the same square footages with each other. So some are smaller, some are larger. Obviously, the one-bedroom units would be the most popular units for sure, and then the rest would be the studios.
So one last question. So if I understand correctly, you could be in a studio, and your next door neighbor could be in a studio, but according to where your income is, what your income is, your rent might be different, right? For the same size
Correct.
unit.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Your rent, as well as you might be in a studio, your neighbor might be in a studio, but your income might be at 60%, your neighbor might be at 50%, so your two rents would be corresponding to your income.
Okay. Thank you. Because that sometimes people ask that question. Well, how come I'm paying more for the same unit? But so
Yeah,
that
and it's just a difficult thing to explain and be able to try and put on a single-page flyer in terms of information. But it's a quirk of the tax credit program that requires that you serve a range of incomes, and as a result, you have a range of rents.
Okay, thank you. I think this is very welcome news. I know that it's not going to resolve our housing, low-income housing shortage exactly, but it's better than having nothing. So I'm glad it's happening. I hope a lot of people apply, and I hope that those that are in most need of low-income housing end up being top on the lottery list. Thank you, Mr. Zovek. What's next?
There are no other items on the agenda.
I move we
Okay. Anyone else?
adjourn.
Second?
Okay, and we're adjourned at 3:12